Hey there everybody, this is Ed and welcome back to another edition of Bagel and Booze. It's St. Patrick's Day weekend. Everything's green this weekend. The beer, the shirts, everything. So in the spirit of that, we're doing a beer that's also, well, while it may not be green, the can's green, it's inspired by something green, and it's going to be one of these reviews that are either going to... It's going one of two ways. This is either going to be the most spectacular beer or it's going to be the most horrible beer. What is it? You're going to find out. But before you do, make sure you click on that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with the latest episodes. So for this week's review, what do we got? Like I said, it's inspired by something green. The can's green. And what is it? The only green food that you could probably think of. It has nothing to do with St. Patrick's Day, but we're making a stretch. We are going to be drinking a pickle beer. Yeah. This is out from Destihl Brewery in Normal, Illinois. This beer is anything but normal, but what we got from them is their Dill Pickle Sour Beer, which you can read right on the can. This is out of their collab series. It's also out of their Wild Sours. What it is a Gose Ale. Clocks in at 5.2% ABV. This, as you can see plainly on the can, it's a collaboration that they are doing with SuckerPunch Gourmet. They got another one, which is a spicy. I couldn't find it. That definitely would be very interesting. But white can, nothing really as Irish as the green can that we got here, but SuckerPunch Gourmet, you may have seen their stuff in the supermarket. They make everything from dill pickle juice by the gallon. They've got jarred pickles of spears, chips, and whole pickles, bread and butter, kosher, dill, you name it. But they also make pickle juice shooters for energy and rehydration. But as we said, what this is, they're combining Gose Ale, their Gose Ale that Destihl Brewery makes, and they're basically combining it with pickle brine. They state that it ends up as a zesty, garlicky flavor of pickles for unique flavor. Well, anybody who knows me, I really don't like pickles. So this is definitely going to be over the top for everything like I said, it's going one of two ways. Pickles are probably one of the least favorite foods that I enjoy. I guess I don't really enjoy it if it's one of my least favorites, but we're going to find out if this beer falls in the same suit. So let's get everything all poured out and get it set up for the sniff, taste, and ultimately the chug test, which I am really dreading. Who knows? I guess maybe I may not. Depends on how the taste test goes. Sniff test on top of that. But let's just get everything all poured out and get the show on the road.
I drink and I know things.
Okay, we got everything all poured out, and it's a pretty clean, light, a little cloudy, but it's still pretty clean on the pour. Nothing hazy, really, unfiltered looking, So I guess off of the smell. And yeah, it smells of pickle juice just straight off of the bat. It's got that smell of the brine, the garlic, the dill, just as I smell it, it's like I just opened a jar of pickles. So there's not much else to describe on it. There's no masking anything. It just straight up smells like a jar of pickles. I can't dumb it down any more simple. Can't change it up anyway. So let's give it the taste test and we'll see how that shapes up. Not that I know what drinking pickle juice tastes like, but this right here probably is going to run on that. It definitely, in the smell, it tastes like it smells. I definitely taste the garlic, the salt, the dill, that soapiness off of the dill. It's a very unique taste that's to this beer. As we take another sip, and it is just it's making me pucker, if you can't already tell. And it is very unique. There's no way else to describe it. We'll give it another sip. Not really taking big sips off of it. About all I can muster is just a little sip at a time. But this one, yeah, it definitely is. I don't know what to make of it. Again, I am not a pickle person. I don't, outside of pickle brine chicken that will grill during the summer, that's about the extent of pickles that I deal with. So this one for me, it definitely is weird. It's got a weird, kind of back taste that's on there. It definitely is, the first couple initial sips. It's one of these ones where we got to do a couple and kind of get a different, profile and characteristic of it. But it is there's just no cutting it. It is like drinking pickle juice, if one can imagine. Again, I don't have that from experience, but just the smell, just everything about it, it just kind of reminds me nothing else of just opening a jar of pickles. So as far as a rating for this one, for me, I guess just from my personal preference, we're going to give this one a 2. It's too weird for me. I don't know. It's a 2, it's a 1, somewhere in that range. I guess we'll cut it in half and we'll give it a 1.5. We'll give it one more sip to see if anything changes. But yeah, no. Holy crap. Yeah, this has got to stay. It's a 1.5. It's not just god awful. I can kind of swallow it down. But it's not something I would actively drink. Which you kind of see, I'm just struggling just to kind of get through this review, and I'm dreading what's going to have to happen when it comes to do the chug test. I already know that this thing is probably going to fail when it comes to that, but all in all, yeah, we're going to give it down, 1, 2, 1.5. We'll keep it at that. That's about as best as I can get. I'm not giving a straight out 0 of just total garbage, because obviously, I've already gotten half a glass down, so it is drinkable to a certain extent, but just to me, it's just too weird of a flavor. If you really like pickles and you like pickle juice, you like that flavor, you might like it a lot better. But for me, it's a swing and a miss. All we got left really, I guess, is to put up to the chug test. Obviously, I got to refill it. I'm a little reluctant to do that because I don't know. I don't think I'm going to finish it. But we got to do it in the name of science, name of beer reviews. So let's get this topped off, and we'll be back to find out if this thing will chug. So we got everything all poured back, and I'll even show proof. I got almost a full pint of this, so I'm not going to half chug my glass. Again, I'm really dreading this just from the initial taste test. Obviously I was not impressed on it. I'm expecting that just that pickle flavor is going to get real intense, real garlicky. I don't know how you kind of pronounce that, but the just all the tastes are just going to just explode, just as we get for many of these other beers. They just intensify to a whole different degree. So this should be interesting. So without a doubt, it's time for bottoms up. So cheers. Oh, God. Oh. Oh. Nope. Whew. For me, it's not chuggable. I couldn't even get through a quarter of this. Oh, geez. Yeah, that was not a smart idea. Oh, yeah, oh, God, all I can taste in my mouth is just straight up nasty pickle juice and the brine, the garlic, the dill, all that stuff. It's horrible. If I was rating this after the chug, this thing would just drop to a 0. It's not, I can't finish it. So, like we said, I knew this was going one of two ways. It was either going to be the best of thing, or it was going to be the worst of things, and it is the worst of things, at least in my opinion. My mouth the flavor is it's disgusting. I can't do it. I'm not going to finish this. But again, if you're somebody who likes pickles, this may be right up your alley, but for me, it's not my bag. I can't recommend it. I don't like it. I guess this is probably one of the first beers that I've ever drank or tried to drink that I just straight up no, it's just a hot mess for me. So there's not much else to say outside of I'm done. We're done. This definitely is not done. But thank you for tuning in for another edition of Bagel and Booze, and we'll catch you next time. And hopefully we got something a little bit better to drink than this stuff. Thanks all.